Hi, my name is Tara Salatiga. I'm an educator at Del Castle Technical High School in Delaware. My high school decided there was a need for an instructional technology coach. So this school year, I left the classroom to fulfill this new role. Knowing how much Schoology allowed me to advance what was possible in my own classroom, I knew I had to use Schoology to advance what was possible school-wide. Here's how I did it. First, I had to advance what was possible with professional development. I did this by providing staff with opportunities for flipped professional development that provided them with the choice, ability to move at their own pace, and differentiating learning asynchronously. Let's take a look at an example of a course that I created within Schoology that is Flipped PD. This Flipped PD course housed in Schoology was all about the advanced uses of the Schoology learning management system. Staff members were allowed to choose two choices, and then they could come back at later times to complete the rest of the course and review anything that they had learned that day. You can see from the course analytics that the staff really did appreciate being able to come back and access those course materials after the professional development session. Oftentimes, when staff is given professional development, that opportunity doesn't exist. So it's a one-and-done scenario where teachers might learn something cool, but aren't given the opportunity to review it, really get comfortable with the material, and digest it at their own pace. Another way I advanced what was possible with professional development was creating blended professional development opportunities. This still provided the participants with choice and the ability to move at their own pace, but it also differentiated learning with the presenter interacting with the participants in a synchronous manner. Let's take a look at an example of one of these blended PD courses. This blended PD course was all about taking additional educational technology resources and marrying them with Schoology. So you can see that it was broken down into several steps where educators once more had a choice, and they were able to interact with me throughout the entire professional development session. In addition, they were still able to access the material post-session, which is really handy when teachers need a refresher or want to continue with other pieces of the material that they didn't get to during the session. And once again, this is evidenced by the course analytics, which show that teachers continue to come back to this even after the PD session has ended. The last thing that I did to advance what is possible with Schoology was to give the staff access to some really valuable resources. So teachers were provided with a repository of resources to help build their blended and flipped lessons in Schoology. Let's take a look at those repositories. These resources are all housed in the faculty course on Schoology, so all staff members have access to these materials. So I created an instructional technology resources library, as well as putting together screencast tutorials, and Tech Bites go out with our weekly staff newsletter and detail an instructional resource that can be used digitally. Let's take a look at the Instructional Technology Resources Library. The first thing I did was give the staff access to a quick tech resources guide, and I embedded a Symbaloo web mix directly into Schoology so they could simply click and interact with any of these instructional technology resources. I also broke down the tech resources by subject, so that it was easier for teachers to go directly to their subject and find what they needed. This is the example of the one-size-fits-all tech resources, which work with all academic subjects as well as some of our CTE subjects. And you can see what I've done is I've given a description of the resource as well as a link so that teachers can go directly to that resource and know how to choose what resource is most applicable based on the description. The Screencast Tutorials and Tech Bites library is organized alphabetically. So again, it's easy to access when staff wants to find what they're looking for. So let's take a look at the table of contents to see what kind of screencasts are housed in this section. Again, they're put in order by alphabetically, and staff can simply click on the link to be taken to the page that houses that screencast. So if you look, many of these are in relation to doing things within Schoology, but others have to do with other things like Google. So since Schoology and Google integrate so well, this was a win-win for staff. Once you click on the link in the table of contents, it takes you to the page where that particular screencast is housed. And then staff members just have to simply click play to watch the screencast and learn how to do whatever the screencast is suggesting. In conclusion, I feel like Schoology really did allow me to advance what was possible in my new role as the instructional technology coach here at Delcastle. I've gotten great feedback that is extremely positive from the staff about the resources and their ability to now craft and implement a blended or flipped lesson in Schoology. Thank you for your time.